Hey manifestors, Eagle Heart Woman here, and I've decided to bring you on another walk with me because as you can see the blue sky behind me, it is beautiful here in Alberta, Canada. So I love getting out to the trees and taking walks and trees are so cool. Just the bark on this one that I'm leaning against is so gnarly and seems so ancient. And as I've said before, I've used trees for healing. And I brought this up last night in a healing circle. I was with some women and we were doing some creative pursuits, but I decided to have a talking circle beforehand and check in with everybody and see how their week was. And it wasn't great for a lot of people. They were feeling confused. Things had happened to them that they were still carrying, in their minds, wondering why that had happened. So I told them this workshop we were doing, or this healing circle, was in the earlier part of the day, and I told them to go find a tree and give it some tobacco. That is an offering. That is a special request for the tree to cooperate with you and enter into some healing. And put your forehead against it and imagine all of that worry, all of that sadness, anything that you're feeling, guilt, thinking that life is unfair. Just put that all, I made it into like a black syrup coming out of my forehead and then running from my third eye into the tree and letting the tree carry that sadness down into the ground and where Mother Earth can take care of it. Mother Earth is so vast that your drops of sadness or anguish are nothing to her, and she absorbs them. And when you stand up and start to walk away, know that what you were carrying, that burden basket, is left there. So then, with my circle, I talked about manifestation, and a lot of the women were doubtful and said that from time to time they wanted to create something in their lives, or they saw The Secret or somebody talking about manifestation, and they maybe kept doing it for a week, and then after that they dropped it and they were into the same old grind, the same old circle of things happening. So, hello, just have some people passing. No, that's okay. And yeah, they get into the, as everybody's calling it now, the matrix or 3D reality. And they don't believe in their own power to use their imagination, use their minds, and persist. Now, there is a fellow named Mark Houghton who manifested winning the lottery. He has his own YouTube channel, Haughton, and he was just mentioning that it took him a year for his numbers to come up. And he did a lot of, I guess, replacement. So when those numbers would come up, and maybe they were different numbers from his favorite ones, I believed he said he loved 44 and 47. He would actually see his numbers in place of the ones that were on those little balls or on the winning numbers that were listed on his lottery app. So persistence, I cannot remind you enough or ask you enough to check out the channel here, Eagle Heart Manifestation. Continue to be inspired. Continue on with your knowing that which you want, which again, another thing Mark said is you are not creating anything. It already exists. Anything that you can hold in your head, you can hold in your hand. So you are bringing what already exists from the spirit world or another dimension into this 3D world. This law of attraction, bringing it into you, it's been overstated through the years, but it is absolutely true. It's a law. just as gravity is a law. So persistence and belief and knowing are what will get you to the finish line, and continue affirming that it is already yours until you have it. And I'm obviously home now, and I just like to add to my claims of persistence and patience and diligence do pay off when you are becoming a master manifester. The other thing that I wanted to mention is my mantra, and this just might help you out. You know, everybody has perhaps a personal mantra, and unfortunately, sometimes it might be a mantra that you're not really, that maybe you shouldn't be embracing when you are manifesting, which is, oh, this sucks, or this will not end well. This is not going to end well. So I'll tell you what I say. My favorite mantra is everything is always working out for me. Everything works out for me. I'm in the right place at the right time. And it's just as though I am running along a path and there's doorways, door frames, the doors are white, and as I come close to a door frame, the door just opens wide and I can see the next one ahead of me. And it's really kind of a cool visualization. And I'll tell you how it came into play a couple times this week. Have you ever been at a event with someone and you plan something, and at the time it feels like a really good idea, like, okay, let's meet next week and go for a run or go for dinner, and you're all in the moment and you're yeah, let's do this, you know, and you've set the time and the date, and then that time and date comes around and you just don't feel like doing it anymore. I am guilty of that. I am so in the moment, and then I'm into my artwork or, you know, doing meditations, things like that, and I just do not want to go. Well, that happened this week. There was a dinner date that was set up with a couple of my friends, and I had already canceled twice. I hate to say it, but I was very busy this month, as you know, with a pottery show and a few other things. I guess I must learn to, I guess I can't say no itis, but everything did turn out really well. And I'm glad I undertook what I did because I learned a lot in doing it. But anyway, there was this dinner date and the day rolled around and I was just not wanting to drive into the city, and I was tired and just not feeling it. And you know, some teachers, my elders would say, unless you're going, yes, I want to do this, I can't wait to do this, then maybe it's not a yes for you that you should be doing it. So I hummed and hawed and put off texting the two friends that we're going to meet, and I was feeling guilty, and I was feeling terrible about having to or wanting to cancel once again. When about 4 hours before we were supposed to meet, one of my friends texts and says, something's come up for me. Can we change the date? And it was just like, oh, yeah. And I just quickly texted and said, yes, another date would be good for me. And it just felt like everything was working out for me. And I got to let go of that guilt feeling. And it just seemed like the least effort. It just seemed like I was in the flow and able to take the path of least resistance and to keep my peace of mind without having to, in my mind, upset the other people who would have me cancel once again. And then just the other night, my husband was out with a friend. They drove into the city. And as he got out to put gas in the car, he had a side pocket and his glasses were in there. And apparently, as he got out, they slid out. And when he got home, it was probably like 11 a.m. when he realized they weren't in his pocket. And he started to freak out. He just was so mad at himself. These were like trifocals or something like that, like very expensive prescription glasses. And it was snowy, cold, and he thought that the glasses had been run over by then. But I just had this knowing creep in that they would be absolutely fine. I mean, he was starting to price out new ones, and I said, honey, let's jump in the car and go back to that service station, and I know your glasses are going to be okay. That's what we did. And we got there, and they weren't where my husband got out of the car, and they didn't slide out around the pumps. They were actually a little ways away, leaning up against a curb. You know, a curb goes like this. They were leaning up against the road and the curb, and they were in perfect condition. They weren't bent, they weren't messed up in any way, and sure enough, he got his glasses back, and I just knew he would. And I love that feeling of knowing. There was no doubt in my mind. That is the kind of knowing that you want to have. There's just no question. There's just no arguing. That is the way that it is. And so it is. And it already is, even before the thing comes into your field, even before you're physically admiring it, enjoying it. You know, it's just such a wonderful thing. And a lot of people are into I am. You know, I am rich. I am prosperous. I am loved. I am working in the job of my dreams. I am is such a powerful, powerful affirmation as well, because it gets rid of any duality. It's just I am, and I am is your imagination and now just a minute, it is your ability to feel as though it's already been done. It's your imagination. God is not just out there and one entity. God is within all of us. So when you claim your I am, it's I am, and there is no other. And you're tapping into that power. And I'll talk a little bit more about I am in the next video. And I would just like to close today to say that intuition is another big thing in manifestation. Manifestation, when you use your intuition, when you use that knowing, it helps you in decision making, it helps you solve problems, and it aligns you with the frequency of that which you want. It is a God particle within you. So grow your intuition. It's like a muscle. It's like working your biceps at the gym. The more you lift, the more you use those muscles, the stronger they get and the more powerful. So I even do a little something when I'm waiting at a light, and I will, in my mind, decide the color of the car that's going to pull up beside me. Or I have even been known to take a deck of cards and just, decide what is coming up in the deck as I turn each card over. And you start to develop that muscle in a fun little game, but it is actually helping you. And using your intuition is a skill or an ability. As you grow, as you strengthen your intuition, that will go miles toward making you a master manifester, bringing that which you want from the spirit world, other dimensions, into this dimension. So thanks for listening. Kinan Skomitin. Hi, hi. We'll see you in the next video.